Okay, I'm going to show you my production techniques of how to approach image one step at a time. Now again, we talked about this in a previous video series, but I have selection tools, I have painting tools, I have creation tools. Okay, so that's basically the tool categories of how the tools break down. Selection, painting, which includes erasing, by the way, and creation. Create a path, create type, create objects, images in this particular case. All right, so here's our objective. All right, I want to select this rose here. Now, for those of you that experience with Photoshop, you may have a cacophony of different tools you can use. I can use the pen tool. I can use the lasso tool. Okay. Now, based on my own experience with this, here's a simple way to adjust this. Now, it's not the cure for cancer, guys. It doesn't affect every image the same way. So, what you need to comprehend is that the tonal, T-O-N-A-L, the tonal pixel range in here is less than inside the apple. I'll demonstrate that. I'm going to go to the wand tool for a second. W for wand. Now, the wand tool is based on tolerance levels. So as an example, if you click the table right here, if I simply click right here, it's going to get most of that table there because it's based on a default tolerance level of 32 shades of color. Now, here's how this thinks. Here's how it works. Wherever I click, it's going to pick based on this tolerance level setting of 32. Wherever I click, it's going to pick 32 shades of color above and below wherever I click, above the selection, below the selection. So 32 actually gives me 64. 64 gives me 128. 128 basically gives me the whole thing because technically 128 gives me 256. And there's 256 range of color. So if I click here, I'm pretty much going to get most all the pixels. Okay? Because 256 is my total range of color. 128 technically gives me 256. It's 228 range of color above and below. Let's take this back to 32 and Command D. So if I click here on the table, that's a good way to select most of the table. Now, what I can do from here is I can go to L for the lasso tool. I can hold down the Shift key, add to the selection, add to the selection, add to the selection. Okay, add to the selection, unless you want to keep the drop shadow in there. Now here, if I come in here, it's going to take away from the selection. I want to hold down the Option key in here. I'm sorry, my mistake. I want to hold down the Shift key and loop around here. And I'm going to do the same thing in here. Now again, this is a simple way to do this. Now down here on the bottom, I can go to my Marquee tool, hold down the Shift key, and square this out here. Well, squaring it out with a rectangle tool, not with an oval tool. And I'm just going to hold down the Shift key. I'm going to add to the selection. So right now I have 98% of the table selected. And I did that very simply by going to the wand tool based on the tolerance levels. Okay. Now, here's a very, very powerful production technique. Okay, let's say that I don't want to have to go and do this again. Now, I don't want to put this in a new layer, but I do want to save the selection. Now, very, very important production technique, saving the selection. Okay, where would I find saving the selection? Well, anything about a selection, of course, under the selection menu. Okay, based on these choices, I can save the selection. And what, pray tell, are we going to call the selection? Well, let's call it what it is, which is table. Now, here's what happens. Very important step here, guys. Here's the difference between a layer and a channel. Channels store selections. Layers store images. We're just going to store the pixel information for this selection by making a new channel and hitting OK. Okay, make a change, save a change. Now, important step here, if you go to your channels here, you'll see you have a table channel. Therefore, I can deselect this Command D. So I can go have lunch, I can go ride my bike, I can come back next week, next month, next year, and I can still load the table selection. Now, how would I do that? Well, what I want to share with you is a very cool production technique. This is Command 2, Command 3, Command 4, Command 5, Command 6. Windows that be Control 2 through Control 6. Now here's how it works here. I don't want it Command 6. If I hit Command 6 right now, it's going to show me that channel. Well, unless I'm cutting a mask or doing some other effects, I don't want to see the channel. I'm going to Command 2 to go back to my RGB channel. Okay, so here's how it works. Here's how it thinks. More choices for options. So if I want to load that selection, it's Command Option 6. Command Option 6, Windows Control Alt 6. If it was 7, then it's Control Alt 7. 8, Control Alt 8, etc., etc., etc. So we could technically load all the blue information by hitting Command Option 5. All the red information, Command Option 3. Now here's the cool part of this. I don't have to be in the channel palette. I can stay in my layer palette. I want to stay in my layer palette. I simply want to load the selection of the table. Now, you, as the designer, would have to be on top of your game to remember that that was channel 6. Because I have 5 channels, RGB plus 2, 3, 4. So that's how it works. So the first RGB is 2, red is 3, green is 4, blue is 5, table is 6. If I save another selection, that would be 7. So if I save the rows selection, how would I do that? Well, let's understand how I can select the rows, and I promise you we will select the rows the right way in our next video.